on a Wednesday night Bible study. We were all on a fast and we was praying in the church, and First Lady noticed that my mom was not there, and she asked my wife where my mom is. My wife didn't know. She asked me where my mom is. I didn't know. So she said we all need to pray for Mother.
On this perfect morning, I was on my way to work. I had no ill feelings. I didn't feel sick or anything like that. When I got to work, I did what I'm supposed to do with the kids, which I'm taking care of. I dropped them off to school, and I came back to their house and did what I had to do. And then the last thing I could remember is going to pick up the kids from school.
A few hours later, then we found out my mom was bleeding in the brain and having a heart attack. At the same time, parked in a schoolyard, bleeding in the brain for 6.5 hours. I was at Pastor Haynes and First Lady house. Pastor Haynes overheard that my mom was in the hospital. We rode up in the hospital together, me, my wife, and Pastor Haynes. My brother was there alongside my mother. His wife is making funeral arrangements, and the doctors gave up hope on, no, it's impossible in medical history for a person bleeding in the brain for 6.5 hours to survive bleeding in the brain and having a heart attack. So they just only have her on life support system. Pastor Haynes came in the operating room, and they gave her news, we just have her on life support so that you can tell your mom, kiss your mom, and tell her goodbye. And he told my brother, let me tell your mom something first. So, my brother stepped to the side, and then Pastor Haynes spoke to my mom in her ears while she on life support that you're coming out of this. And her whole body come back alive.
And then I woke up in the hospital, which I didn't know why. From then on, I understood that I was in dire straits, which the Lord brought me out of, and used Pastor Haynes to speak the word into my life.
There's many situations that requires the Lord intervention in my life, and I remember one morning, kind of literally didn't want to get out of bed. First Lady just encouraged me, okay, this is where I need to be. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, you should be in God's presence, or you have the opportunity to be in God's presence. Press through and come. You never know what God's going to speak to you. Just encourage you.
As a young teenager or a young child, Pastor Haynes has always been the role model to me. Not growing up with a father, or not knowing my father the way I should, Pastor Haynes has always been there for me as far as setting the example.
Over 10 years ago, when I first got married, God used Pastor Haynes to prophesy to my husband and I for us to move from the neighborhood that we were living in, because there were going to be a lot of people that were going to get killed in that area. And at that time, the area didn't seem as bad that anything like that would even happen. But because I know that he definitely is a man of God, because God has used him many times before, I trusted God's voice in him. And within about a week after the prophecy, the head chief police officer of the Orange Police Department, had gotten shot. It was many people that got killed as well. And I found that out from a friend that also lived in the same building. Once we moved, she told me literally, once you move, it was so many people that started getting killed. And I told her why I moved and how I knew to move was because God had already spoke to my pastor, and I was able to witness to her